So using our 2-on-1, traditionally how we get to the 2-on-1, someone's going to be collar tying, and then we'll change our angle here, bump with the shoulder, and rip the hand off the head, off into this side here like this, okay? Just tweak your shoulder. When you 2-on-1 someone, it should hurt the shoulder a little bit, whether it's the whip or this holding position here like this. You see here he level changed. That's because there's a little bit of pressure on his shoulder, okay? So when we do get this across the chest here, so wrist control, I bump with the shoulder and elbow, keeping the hand underneath. Some guys have a habit of going up on top like this. We're going to keep it underneath, okay? So I'm turning away. I might lean a little bit to get this hand away from my head, bumping it, dragging it, and then securing here. And normally I'll try and keep this V in the arm like this, and I won't break my own posture too much. You see, Adam, I tell you here, this is actually quite comfortable. The more I puff my chest out and treat this almost like an Americana, the more pressure there's going to be on his shoulder. So it might force him to lower his level, like really sink his head. If that's the case, we might be able to start going into front headlocks, okay? So when we do get there, trying to stay quite disciplined with your own posture, not leaning over like this, which we'll talk about in a minute anyway, okay? So normally I've got a wrist control here and I'm pulling it into my chest. I'm shoulder to shoulder, and then this hand I like nice and high up on the armpit. So I keep this shoulder to shoulder contact. If I'm down here on the elbow, he can easily separate, and I'll lose it, okay? So I want to keep my shoulder in contact. Normally I'm going to try and keep my head here as well. If he wants to level change now, it's going to be a little bit harder. Whereas if I'm here, he can even plant his head here. Now I can't level change. Okay, so normally once we've got to this position, I'm going to try and keep my head right here in his jawline. Now, normally there's two different reactions from here. If I'm trying to pull him this way, he's either going to load all his weight into his front foot, so like lean backwards, pull backwards, and load his weight in his front foot, or he's going to do it in his back foot. Now, depending which one he does, will depend which takedown we get, okay? If he loads all the weight into this lead leg here, it probably means when I shuffle step backwards, he's going to step with the rear leg. Like this, okay? So this is my level change, and now we go ankle pick, okay? Try not to go to the knee. The knee's good, but he will probably step back. We're going to go ankle, just drive back into it. So as we get our 2-on-1, I'm going to shuffle step backwards in a straight line. There's that step, the level change, and then we go to the ankle. On this one, trust that the leg will be there. So don't step, see it's there, and then go. This is one technique. I'm going to trust that the leg is going to be there, okay? If it's not, don't worry too much, okay? You're not going to give up too much position. Okay, so in our 2-on-1, I shuffle step back, he steps on the rear leg, we drive back into it, pick up the ankle pick. If he loads up the leg and he's not stepping with this rear one, all I'm going to do is drive this arm back into him, keep the head on the inside, and pick up the single leg. So it might be the case where as I'm pulling here, I get no movement. Or I might actually pull him and he does creep forward with this leg. I have a leg on the outside, I drive the arm back into him, good head position, and just pick up the single leg with whatever finish you prefer. So from here, peeling this off, keep a nice shoulder pressure here like this. If I feel him loading up on this leg, he's probably going to step with the rear one. If not, and he's not giving me that far leg and he's just creeping forward, we'll pick up that near one. So, like I said, traditionally, this is how you're normally going to get to your Russian tie, your 2-on-1. Sometimes what's actually easier is just level changing, passing the elbow, and then going and catch that wrist on the way. And then I'll just reverse my grip and go here like this. Even something as simple as wrist control, just dragging it across and catching that elbow on the outside. So rather than an arm drag from the inside like this, from the outside, and then just turning the corner and get to this, and get to this position here. You see, I'm trying to keep pressure on his shoulder, so straight like this, no good. The more I bring it into me, the more I puff my chest, the more reaction I'm going to get. Now, in my experience, the biggest reaction from this guy is to post with the hand. He wants to keep my head, yes, that's it, and circle away. Exactly. That is, to me, the number one most common thing. As soon as I get out here like this, that's it, he posts. Normally it's quite a long post, I find. Yeah, he wants to really separate. You see here, if we turn this way, look, my shoulder is nowhere near his. This is not a good 2-on-1. Okay? If he frames like this short frame, this is absolutely fine as well. This is really common. But again, he's probably going to try and circle out. So as I'm chasing this back exposure, yeah, it's not happening. Okay? So I have to get rid of this. I can do it 2 ways. I can simply just let go of this and go and push that elbow up and across. What's probably a little bit cooler is using his own arm to clear that post. So again, if he's stiff arming it, not a problem. What I do want to do is make sure I get above his elbow here. Okay, if I'm down here on the forearm, he'll just dip the elbow now. Yeah, and I won't be able to get in on the guy. So it's going to be up here, above his elbow. Okay, so yeah, whether he's long arming or he's got this short frame, it's going to be here. Okay, so especially as he's circling around, squaring up, this one is bumping up and over. And when you do this, you want to put him out of position. You want him leaning over. So I'm not just throwing it up. I'm looping this arm up and over across his body. And you see this is really opened up, and then we can hit our shot. So as we get in here and he posts, I can release this and just clear. Or I can use this arm to hit it as well. So one of my favourites from this 2-on-1 sometimes involves either me making a mistake or actually baiting. So what I'll do sometimes, I will actually hang my head here. I know if he's hunting for guillotines or front headlocks, yeah, he's going to go ahead and wrap over the top, okay? As a general rule, if I keep my head like above his armpit, say, he's probably not going to reach on that. If I'm standing up tall here and he reaches, yeah, he's asking to get his back taken or whatever. If I start level changing, like I said, not to do, that's much more inviting for him, okay? And the second he wraps, I'm not even going to let him get this deep. The second his arm, his elbow is over my head, my grip changes. We just square up. So I'm going to go over the top here, and then this one is feeding inside on the thigh. I don't need to cup like this, okay? Just from the inside, I use the back of my hand. This is pulling down and this is lifting up. And I'll just hit a knee drop. So I hit my 2-on-1. If my head gets caught low here like this is instant. And rewind. So as soon as I see him reaching, I'm going to hit it there. I've already switched. I'm going to circle out here. I normally do a knee drop. So as I go in here, this knee will drop. What you can do is more of like a hurdler. So I go here like this and then turn onto the heel. And of course, if you're baiting this one, you need to hit this. This reaction needs to be super quick. What you can't afford to do is lower the head, allow him to get this front headlock, yeah, and become heavier and heavier and heavier. As soon as you see that reaching, we're gone. Okay, so 2 variations. I'll normally hit just a knee drop. So I'll step in, this one's pulling down, this one's lifting up, I'll circle, step backwards and drop the knee to the mat. What's cool about this next one is we get really good drop. So I'll actually fall to my hip on this one. So as I circle around here, deep step in. One more on that one. 2-on-1. So as we talked about earlier, one of the most common reactions here, as soon as we get this 2-on-1, he doesn't like his back being exposed, me having this angle on the guy on him, so he's just going to look to circle out. He's going to look to square up, yeah, and face up, just to hide his back, okay? He might be posting, he might just get on his bike and just start running. So as soon as I cut in here like this, yes, exactly, okay? Now, if this is the common reaction, all I want to try and do is get his feet squared up, okay? And when he circles out this direction, what we're probably going to find is he's going to be heavier on this foot, because this is the natural direction that he's taking, okay? So this is all now set up for our low single. So as we 2-on-1, as I turn the corner, he starts squaring up. I'm already in position for my shot. So the John Smith low single, the level change is all here first, and then in a straight line towards the ankle. So what we're not doing is this angle like this. Okay, it's full level change and then straight to the ankle. Elbow on the floor. That prevents him stepping back on this one. If my elbow is up, and he steps back, I'm gonna get extended. Okay, so it's elbow on the floor, hooking behind. We're not normally gonna reach like this. We have the same issue of getting extended, and the head is gonna be on the inside of the knee. Still looking through, my head creates pressure on the inside of his knee and opens it up. This hand is gonna go and do something with this leg. I quite like getting to the inside on the heel like this, but we can hook from the outside. Be very careful about chopping high when submissions are involved. What I don't want to do is land my low single, and start getting omoplata. So like I said, I'm quite a big fan of getting to the inside on the ankle. So the whole point of this now is just to square him up. When we come out of him squaring up, we want to be set and ready to go. So I'm not going to go here, chase, he squares up, be tall. I already know. As soon as I've whipped it here, this circle,